thank you very much to Alex and Mutu for putting the event on and inviting me along today. And thank you for our friends at Cesium for kind of putting us in touch. So I'm going to talk a little bit about DroneDeploy and how we're kind of really helping drones become part of kind of a critical part of every job site and really help kind of digitize every job site across the world. So I'm going to talk today a little bit about, I'll give you a bit of introduction to myself and the company, DroneDeploy, kind of our history, a bit of our product, where we've come from and where we are today. And then talk about some of the specific use cases, specifically in the kind of construction industry. That's obviously the focus of the webinar today. Talk about a couple of the use cases and the products we've built to support those, and also some of the kind of technical challenges we've had to build products to solve, some of the kind of fun engineering challenges we've come up against. Then I'll kind of jump into a little bit about where we're going, what the future kind of holds for us, and where we see kind of drones and smart construction, and hopefully a bit of time for some Q&A at the end. So a bit about myself. I'm, as I've said, I'm Director of Engineering at DroneDeploy. I've actually joined DroneDeploy right at the beginning of the company as one of the first employees at the company and the first engineers at the company, joined back in 2014. And really over that time, over the kind of last 6.5 years or 7 years that DroneDeploy has been around, we've just really seen this incredible kind of explosion or expansion of drone usage around the world. It's one of my favorite GIFs. It shows the location of every map made by DroneDeploy customers. You can really see that kind of huge growth over time. And that's been incredible to see. You know, the original vision of the founders and the company was to take these drones, take these things with this kind of high potential, you know, these flying robots which capture images from all scenes, and turn them into this really valuable tool which is genuinely kind of commercially valuable and is critical as part of every industry, and a drone kind of on every job site. You know, in 2014, that did seem a bit kind of pie in the sky. You know, you spent almost as much time gluing and soldering drones back together as you did flying them. And here we are kind of 6.5 years later, and there's major drone fleets and drone programs rolled out across almost every kind of major industry and job site, and kind of certainly in construction we see drone program. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a drone program in every single major construction company, and certainly across lots of other industries as well. So it's really exciting to see where the drone industry's gone and where kind of DroneDeploy's gone with helping kind of drive that growth. So where are we today? DroneDeploy has thousands of customers operating around the world, in kind of almost every country in the world. Customers have mapped, as you saw in the GIF before, we've mapped kind of over millions of maps all around the world. We've mapped over 180 million acres of drone mapping to date, which has been really exciting for me. I've been always kind of focused on the photogrammetry and geospatial side of the product, and so it's been really exciting to see this growth of the mapping. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about DroneDeploy and our product itself. As I mentioned before, the vision of DroneDeploy, the goal of DroneDeploy is to make it really easy to take these very powerful tools, or toys almost, and turn them into something incredibly valuable, incredibly useful, gain real insights from them for your business. And DroneDeploy is a cloud software platform. And really there's kind of 3 aspects of our product which you use to kind of turn these drones into something really valuable. There's capturing the data. So it's, first of all, the main point of using drones is kind of digitizing your job site. And so we have flight apps that enable you to fly the drones easily and capture the imagery all around the job site, so you have the kind of right information to help generate those high quality 3D models, that digital twin, and allow you to upload that data to our cloud platform, where we have this massively scalable processing engine, our map engines we call it, which processes the data into maps and high definition 3D models. And now we've got those 3D models, that high definition data. So what do we do with it? Well, we need to analyze it. We need to measure. We need to annotate. We need to inspect, compare change over time. And then once we've done that, perform that kind of quantitative analysis, we have to take some kind of action. And so that could be collaborating, bringing other people from the company in to show them what's going on, reporting, sharing, pushing some of that data, those issues or problems you found, into other pieces of software to use to kind of catalog problems or kind of work progress on your site. And so these kind of three main pillars we kind of call our the drone cloud, and together they kind of form this overall product that's really valuable kind of across almost every industry. We see a lot of usage in construction. I think construction, energy, and agriculture are the three biggest industries that we see use of drones, but there's this huge long tail of almost every other industry, every kind of use case you could think of, and that's really been one of the most exciting things working at DroneDeploy, is not only the scale, but also just seeing the different applications and things people do with it. It's archaeology, search and rescue, education, kind of everything you think of where digitizing it and having this aerial view and perspective really have a lot of value. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about really focus on construction. That's kind of the theme of today's webinar. So I'm going to talk about some of the use cases for drones and some of the kind of products we built around construction and some of the technical challenges and kind of fun engineering problems we've had to solve as part of that. So as you saw in some of the previous presentations, there's kind of several stages of construction, several ways to think about it. There's the kind of pre-construction phase, that's pre-bid, pre-construction. Really there you're estimating how big is the project, how expensive is it, how long is it going to take, how many people do you need, how many subcontractors, how much dirt are you going to have to move before you can start building. Then there's the construction phase itself, where you're monitoring progress over time. You're trying to keep things on time, on budget, make sure any mistakes are caught early, make sure there's no safety problems, make sure people are doing what they're meant to be doing. And then finally, the kind of inspection, closeout, and monitoring after construction's complete. And that's really, making sure everything has been finished to design specifications. So is the windows installed correctly? Is the electrical installed properly? Is the air conditioning, HVAC units installed properly? And then, 6 months, a year down the line, are we seeing cracks or rust or water pooling in areas? Do we need to kind of take any action to make sure things are on track? And it's been exciting to see that drones have real value in kind of every part of that process. At the bottom here, you kind of see some of the use cases, and these are some of the use cases for drones in each of those sections, and we've kind of built product around all of those. But today I'm going to kind of focus. I know we had some of the earlier talks really talking about some of the things around earthworks and volume measurements and stockpiles, and that's a huge part of what we do and some of the earliest products we built. But today I'm going to focus a little bit more on some of the inspection aspects, just to kind of show you some of the newer products we're launching and really kind of show you how the 3D data itself kind of comes to shine and has real value for that inspection phase. So, and talk a little bit about inspection and use of drones, and then jump into kind of a bit of a technical challenge and some of the kind of fun engineering problems we solved around detailed inspection on the individual images that the drone captures. So, talking about inspection. So, why do we need to do inspection? Well, as I said before, it's verifying quality and avoiding costly mistakes. So, is everything built as a to specification? Is the window in the exact right place? Is this drainage pipe in the right location? Are there any safety issues? Safety is one of the biggest concerns and things you have to kind of look out for in a construction site that can shut down production, be incredibly problematic to a construction process. Is there any safety issues? So watching out for safety problems, and then looking for things like damage, anomalies. So just this kind of ongoing inspection, making sure everything is as it should be and as designed. And so how do we do that today? Well, mostly it's in person. It's it's experts walking around the job site and the construction site. And typically there's going to be a limited number of people who are kind of qualified to be doing that. It's the foreman, QA, QC people, it's the safety expert or safety officer on the site. And so you've really got a limited number of these people who can perform these inspections. And if you imagine a job site like the one in the picture here, you can think of how long it's going to take one person or even a handful of people to inspect every aspect of this. And what that means is really the inspections are going to be kind of few and far between, or certainly more limited than you would like them to be. So it might be several days or weeks between inspections, and so problems could occur. Something could be put in the wrong place or not built to specification, and then we get down the road and have to kind of walk back and remove a lot of the construction after that to fix the problem, which means things are very costly and run over budget and over time. And so these are kind of some of the kind of key problems and some of the ways that some of the problems we're trying to tackle with use of drones and kind of digitizing the job site. And so one of the really exciting things about the use of drones on job sites is that you can take you can take a drone and have a pilot. It doesn't need to be necessarily an expert, just to go up and fly and say maybe do a 20-minute flight over your job site, capture the imagery, upload that to the cloud. You've now got a high definition 3D model of the site, and you can have your experts, the people who are going to be doing the detailed inspection sitting back in the head office, and they're getting this digital twin, this kind of digitized job site sent to them or available to them on their computer every single day. You can fly and remap the entire site every day. You can do it from multiple sites around the country. You can have the same people kind of inspecting them. And you can easily go in and look at, inspect individual photos. So here we see this kind of high definition source photo that was taken of a site, and kind of jump in, perform some kind of inspection on here, find an issue, create a call to action, bring people in, get it solved within hours. Whereas that might, to catch that early really would have been kind of luck if we were doing it by eye or kind of walking around with someone kind of visually inspecting. So that's really the value here, is making it much, much easier to get that information to the experts and make them kind of more productive, allow people to kind of be able to see more of the site and easily navigate and find potential issues early. And that's really critical to kind of keeping these construction projects on time and under budget. So next, I'm talk a little bit about some of the image navigation. So you saw in that previous image there, the product we built around inspection was really, you've got your kind of 3D model, but the detailed inspection is going to be happening on those source images, the individual kind of incredibly high resolution images that the drone's capturing. And we're doing that inspection on the source images because that is really the highest fidelity, highest resolution of data. The 3D model and texture itself is lower resolution, and some of the photogrammetric reconstruction of really thin structures and small details is occasionally missing. You need to get thousands and thousands of pictures to kind of capture that kind of detail. And so it's kind of critical to be able to do the inspection on these individual images. But the problem is, if you go and capture images over the entire job site, you might have hundreds of images. So how do you find the right image to do the inspection on? And so what's really exciting is the kind of use of the 3D model in conjunction with the source images themselves. And so we're kind of using the 3D model as a map, as a kind of high-level map, so you can kind of situate yourself and find, okay, this is the part of the model that I care about inspecting. I want to go and look at, for example, this part of the roof. And so you can kind of take the model to kind of orient yourself and then say, right, this is the part I care about. Now I'm going to jump into this part of the scene and inspect images in this area. And you can see in the GIF here, there's kind of two ways of doing that. There's we can show kind of the individual image locations, and so you can click onto them and say, okay, this is the image I think I want to see. Or there's an even, I think, cooler or more fun product we built where you can actually click on a part of the 3D model and say, okay, this is the section of roof, the roof tile, the gutter that I want to inspect. and we'll take that 3D location, raycast it into all the images, and find the image which is closest and has the best view of that part of the roof, and jump you straight into that view. So kind of orient yourself into that kind of inspection mode. And then once you've got into that, you've got what you think is a good photo. Now you might need to kind of fine tune it. So as you see here, for any one pixel in the scene, you're going to typically have 9 or 10 images which see that one point. And so we want to kind of actually jump to a nearby photo which has a slightly better view or slightly alternate view. And so we kind of, once you've jumped from the kind of the 3D model into that kind of 2D inspection, you have to kind of jump between them and fine tune that and find the perfect view. So basically, this kind of how we kind of tackled the user experience of finding that right photo is jumping from the 3D scene into the kind of 2D scene and fine tuning that so you can find the exact view of the kind of ideal view for your inspection. And so this is a kind of typical drone map. As you imagine, you can see lots of nadir imagery looking top down over the top of a roof of a building. But one of the other really critical parts to inspection is looking at vertical facades. And this is really, you can kind of imagine, you really see the power of where the drone inspection kind of comes into play with these vertical facades, because you can imagine how hard it would be to perform this level of detailed inspection, certainly on a regular basis, without this kind of technology. You're having to put up scaffolding or a crane or something to be able to get this kind of information. And having this kind of way to jump around and navigate around your 3D model inside the kind of digital view, the digital reality of this this kind of 3D scene, and allow you to kind of jump between images and really kind of move around as if you were in real time, as if you're kind of the drone's eye view in real time, is incredibly valuable. It just makes it a very natural and seamless experience to be able to kind of understand the different parts of the scene and really find any kind of potential problems. So these are a couple of the fun problems we've had to solve. There's a lot of really cool 3D problems, 3D graphics problems associated with this, but really the goal is to kind of make it as easy as possible for the experts in the industry to see this critical information and be able to do this analysis on this kind of digital version of the job site. So this is some of the products we've had out for some time and had a lot of usage of with our partners in the construction industry. But where are we going next? Well, we saw the previous two slides. You've got this, top-down view of the job site, or the facade view of the job site from the drone imagery. But really, if you imagine a construction project, 50% or more of the actual construction happens on the inside of buildings, and therefore 50% or probably more of the issues and problems happen on the inside of buildings. And really, drones are today kind of limited value there. There are some newer drones coming out which have really advanced sense and avoid and can fly around indoors, but really it's there's not been a huge amount of usage there, and so there's still the problem of needing to do these in-person inspections through the kind of labyrinth of the inside of a construction site as it's being built. And so that's the part that we wanted to really tackle next. Our goal is to kind of digitize the whole job site and allow people to have that kind of that digital inspection experience. And so the product we've just launched, which is really exciting for this, is our Indoor 360 walkthrough. And so this enables you to do a digital inspection of the inside of a job site by taking a 3D video camera, walking around the parts of your scene that you care about. So you can see in the example here, someone's walked around multiple paths on the kind of different floors of the inside of a building which is under construction. You've got this kind of 360 video, but then how do you actually navigate through that? And how do you find which part of the video you want to go to, which part corresponds to this corner of the building? Well, this is the product we built here. So we take the 3D video, we reconstruct the actual exact path that you walked geospatially and superimpose that on a map. And so you can jump in, and again, you kind of navigate to the part of the scene, part of that digital information that you care about. So you can kind of jump to, I care about, this corner of the building. So you can click on that and it takes you to the part of the 360 video that corresponds to that region, and allows you to kind of jump into the view and really perform that kind of inspection. So 360 video, each frame is a 360 panorama. So each frame here, you're kind of jumping to a specific location. It allows you to actually kind of move around the whole sea and do that inspection as if you were standing there. And then we built tools like comparing side by side, so you can perform the walkthrough, once a day and see what's changed. And once you've doing that comparison, well, then now we want to be creating issues and creating tasks for people to kind of clean things up or fix a problem. And so really this is really exciting for us, because it means that now, as I said before, we've gone from drone mapping kind of top down, drone mapping to the sides of buildings as well, and really the outside of buildings, and now talk the 360 walkthrough, talking about mapping and digitizing the insides of construction sites as well. And so really this is a big step forward, and it's a really exciting product for us, because it means that now more and more, hopefully the whole of the job site is available in this kind of digital twin for this remote inspection, hopefully driving a huge amount of kind of efficiency in the inspection process. So that's all I wanted to talk through today. So thank you all for listening. Final slide to pop up and say, one of the reasons I'm here today is just really excited to be part of the forum with a lot of people like yourselves who are really passionate about geospatial problems, geospatial technology, 3D technology and drones, and how they're being used to solve real world problems. And so we're hiring for people across our whole company, and especially in our engineering organization across the whole stack. And so if you're interested in the kind of problems you've seen in my presentation or previous presentations, these kind of problems solved, please do get in touch. We have a careers page I linked here. You can reach out to me on email or LinkedIn. But really, I'd love to hear from you, and yeah, please think about coming and joining us and building the future, seeing what the future holds. All right.